Hello, today we're here with Angie Shakira Martinez, who is the Dominican Republic's ambassador to Jamaica. She spent 4 years in that position and she's now off to take a new assignment as the Dominican Republic's ambassador to South Korea. During her tenure, she not only was a fantastic diplomat as far as the art of diplomacy is concerned, but she made significant advances culturally and with trade and business. Hello, Angie. Can you reflect on your time as an ambassador in Jamaica?
Well, it's so hard to, reflect so many achievements and so many efforts and energy put in these 4 years, in this 4 tenure, but definitely has been amazing. I came here as a diplomat, as an ambassador of the Dominican Republic, but I leave Jamaica as a friend. Jamaica shaped me in every way. Jamaica shaped me in every way. And I leave Jamaica with the heart full of gratitude, with a lot of friends at all levels, yes, and with so many shared successes, fill my heart with gratitude for that. I remember when I arrived here in Jamaica, our today was the first to be side by side with me. I was very surprised when I received a call telling me that our today wanted to be part of the presentation of my credentials, the couple of letters to the minister, Senator Camina Johnson-Smith, at the new building of the Ministry.
Royal Street.
Yes.
Downtown Kingston.
Yes, at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And I was so lucky because I was the first ambassador to present ever in the history at that new building. So in some way I was making history and I didn't know. And that was why our today asked me to be part of my presentation of credentials, and then when I present my credentials to the Governor General. So in some way, I was supported by our today in my whole 4 years, since the day one to today that I'm almost leaving Jamaica.
Yes. I would like to read something to you.
Yes.
When you came as ambassador, and it seems rather prescient now when you think about it.
Yes.
You said, "My greatest ambition as ambassador is to be honest. I'm very interested in the well-being of people. I know we all work on important things, but I would like that impact with people. I genuinely care about Jamaican people as I care about my Dominican people. So my big ambition would be that the work I do here can really impact on the development and well-being of people. Of course, I would like at the end of my path here in Jamaica to feel good about myself, knowing I did my best. I always work with my heart and with enthusiasm in all fields that I work and I'm responsible for because I love my country. I would like at the end of my job that my people are proud of me as their representative. I would like that the Jamaican people feel proud of the ambassador of the Dominican Republic because we can create empathy, actions that make our relations closer and integrate our people. I want when I finish my job, I can come back to Jamaica and be loved and have people that welcome me like the first time and leave as good friends."
Oh my God. Oh my God. I said that?
Yes, I researched it.
I'm reminded.
Yes. Not many people can start off with their declared intentions about how they're going to go about what they do and do it in such a manner. You did. And those words I just read to you, you've managed to fulfill those words and do it so graciously and charmingly in that time period. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, I'm trying to connect with myself, Angie, 4 years ago.
Yes.
4 years ago. And I see it, that clearly what moved me in every path in my life is the heart. I think that when I came to Jamaica, I came here with my heart open. And I wanted to connect people. Of course, I came here to do my job, to deep the relation in every sense, and I think that we achieved that with, enhancing the relation in cooperation levels, at all levels. In the political ties were deepening, the commercial ties also, cultural, but mainly I think that my great achievement was to connect people to people, the human aspect of the relationship, because it's what sustains real relationship. And in that sense, I think that we have been successful, and I achieved that what I was planning, because in these 4 years, it's hard to summarize all that we have achieved. There are so many. I'm very grateful and very proud of having more than 500, actions, initiatives, milestones in our bilateral relations. But the most important is to make Jamaican and Dominican know each other better. And when you know better a person, you can get to love them. And it's what happened with Jamaica and the Dominican Republic. Now we know each other better and we love each other better. So here in Jamaica, you can listen more merengue and bachata. People know how to dance it, people love it. And the same in the Dominican Republic, so we're more connected with the Jamaican culture, with the gastronomy, with everything that is related with Jamaica, of course with its music, but that is forever, like the reggae and the dance hall, because Jamaican is known by its music and by Bob Marley and figures at Usain Bolt, etc. But we are more connected. Definitely, we have experienced in these 4 years a real transformation, a very profound transformation at all levels, political, cultural, economically, commercial, cultural. But the real game changer, the real before and after, is to connect our people.
Yes. I just really want to go through a few or a number of your achievements over your tenure over the last 4 years, which is remarkable. You established the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce in the Dominican Republic. You led a number of commercial missions to the DR. You signed an air service and air transportation agreement. You saw to it that Arajet came to Jamaica in 2022. You saw the removal of visa requirements for citizens of the DOMREP, which I'd say is one of your crowning glories. You partook in the distribution of vaccines, which was a good gift from Dominican Republic to the government of Jamaica during the COVID period. You've done a number of things, you've accomplished a number of things, and that adds to your success as a diplomat in Jamaica. But what underscores your accomplishments is the fact that this was your first diplomatic assignment. You were a diplomat in Madrid, the UN in Geneva, Paris, but this is your full stint as an ambassador. So talk about that. So you've accomplished a lot in the 4 years.
I came here with a very ambitious plan. When I was assigned or designated as ambassador of the Dominican Republic to Jamaica by my president, His Excellency Luis Abinader, and our foreign minister, His Excellency Roberto Alvarez, I started studying the relationship between Jamaica and the Dominican Republic. I read a lot of books, articles, I participate in so many webinars and think tanks events about relations in the Caribbean to understand better what I will do it. And I met every single stakeholder related with Jamaica and the Dominican Republic. Private sector, public sector, all of them. So I can understand better what was the situation. And based on that, I created a plan. And I said, okay, we don't have a chamber of commerce, you mentioned that. And all the businessmen who I encounter, they say that will be very important, we would like to do it, but nobody was just taking the lead and leading that process. And we did it. And we talked with all the businessmen, and we talked with, I consider the father of the most successful chambers of commerce in the Dominican Republic, Don Fernando González Nicolás, which is the president of the Commonwealth, of the round table of the Commonwealth countries. And he created the UK Chamber of Commerce in the Dominican Republic. And then I say, you are the genius in this, just help me. And he did it. And we put, Juan Jose Melo, which is our president of the Chamber of Commerce of Jamaica and the Dominican Republic, leading the process too, and so many others, actors. And then in less than 3 months of my tenure, we achieved the creation and the establishment of the chambers. That was record, I think record Guinness. But we did it. That reaffirmed that when you put, your mind, your soul, your energy, work on something, you will have results. If you do nothing, nothing will happen. But we did that in less than 3 months, and that was my first groundbreaking in my tenure. But at the same time, I was working on connectivity, because I knew that without connectivity, we couldn't have real commerce or trade between our nations. We couldn't have more tourism. We couldn't have business synergies. We couldn't have that people-to-people connections. And I wanted to do that. And connectivity was key, and we were lacking of connectivity. This is a real problem in the Caribbean, as you know. And when I talk about that with a lot of people was accepting that I could achieve that. And I say, we need to do that, we need to achieve. Of course we can do it, and of course it's relevant for our bilateral relation. And I noticed that there were a lot of appetite for doing business with Jamaica. And we were so close geographically, but very distant in every way. Not only in the connectivity, but the connectivity was one of the reasons. We were very distant. So I started working on the connectivity by sea, and at the same time the connectivity by air. We achieved the connectivity by sea first, and from 18 to 21 days of the shipping, relationship before, we could manage to get 2-3 days door-to-door shipping. So that's a real change, and that explains in a big part the success of our trade relation and the dramatically increase that by now we are seeing that Dominican Republic double its export to Jamaica.
Yes.
And Jamaica triple.
And the gross bilateral relation is $134 million, and trade volumes keep increasing.
Bigger than many countries in Central America together with the Dominican Republic, and with bigger than other countries that are very important. So Jamaica right now is within the 10, principal trade partner of the Dominican Republic. And we achieved that with, motivating people to do business, facilitating, creating the conditions to do business, because we didn't have it. We have the appetite, we were close, but nothing worked at that time.
Yes. And one of the things I would say, and you said it early in your tenure, was that the importance of South-South investment.
Yes.
Now, today, we see why that is important, given given the era we now live in, I'll say.
Yes.
Did you notice my diplomacy there?
Yes. This is something that one of the things that I feel most proud about it is that South-South investment model that we, Dominican Republic and Jamaica, managed to establish in these years. And I think it's a good example for the rest of the Caribbean because we have, mutual investment. We have JMMB in the Dominican Republic. We have Jamaica Producers, we have Norbu Equity, we have Gravaleaf, and many others that are in the Dominican Republic, but the same to Jamaica. Yeah. We have more and more investment that have increased dramatically in these 4 years that came from the Dominican Republic and Jamaica. That's companies who see Jamaica as a good destination to expand their business.
Yes.
You name it.
Magna Motors, ICMA Capital, Caterpillar, Jamaica. We've got GB Energy as well.
Fersan.
Yes.
You have Codelpa, you have Terrestra, you have many companies on the construction sectors, ECGA.
Yes.
And you have Changan, who came. But Magna Motors with Hyundai expanded also in Montego Bay.
Yes.
Just recently last year, we have OFIT, which is a cultural and like a cultural initiative to promote education.
Yes.
And many others that you cannot see it, Chat, IQ Tech, and many others that people don't see it, but they're here.
Yes.
They are here in Jamaica. So definitely.
And you've managed to make a lot of those business entities feel very comfortable settling. You seem to talk a little bit about it, how you managed to settle them in Jamaica.
Well, the first thing is that the embassy is a real friend of those companies who wanted to invest in Jamaica or just doing business synergies. We have a very strong commercial department led by Daniel Beltré, who has accompanied me in my full tenure here in Jamaica, and together we have achieved great results, as you see. And they feel very comfortable. Of course, there is the connection with not only the private sector, which is very important, but also with the public sector. And we have all the doors open in Jamaica. And I think this is important when you have this relationship with the government of Jamaica. So if you have any situation, we don't say problem, but any situation, you can, you can just send a WhatsApp and say, Minister, we have this situation, how we can, manage to solve it. And you have a friend in the other side of the conversation saying, we support you because Jamaican government believe in business. And they really, show that it's important for Jamaica to care the investors who come here.
Yes.
Yes.
Tell me, why did you enter the diplomatic service? It seems that on your journey, you've been a diplomat now for over 20 years.
22.
22 years. But you're working in Madrid, working in Paris, working at the UN in Geneva has prepared you for this moment now.
Yes.
But why did you enter it? Because you're an international lawyer.
Yes.
But what I'm interested in, why did you enter the service? And once in there, what did you want to accomplish? Was there a particular way you wanted to go about diplomacy? Because you very much have your own imprint as a diplomat as you go about your job.
Well, I was inspired by the human rights when I started. When I was at the university, international law was one of my favorite, subjects, and I was clear that I wanted to continue that path, and also human rights. As a matter of fact, I won many contests in my country internally, first place, and internationally at the American University on human rights, on the system of human rights. And then I specialized myself in international law, international organizations, human rights, the system of protection of the human rights. That was my field. And when I decided to enter in diplomacy, it's because it was natural. That was what I studied. I make a master's degree and a doctorate in Madrid, and another master's degree and another master too, which is a master of research, which is equivalent of diploma of advanced study, which is the doctorate in the equivalent in France, at Sciences Po and the University of Sorbonne. So I was preparing myself for this job because I like it. And then these two experiences at the Moot Court competition of human rights shaped me and inspired me to do the job that I'm doing now. But also I did an internship at the United Nations, and that was like the dream of my life, being at the United Nations, because I love international law, I love international relations, I love human rights, I love education. So basically I think that I was preparing myself for this job, and then I think that everything that I have done in my life, human being, so the people is always in the center. Why I love so much human rights and dedicate my life? Because the people. So I always care about people. In my 20 years of career, 18 of that, I consecrate myself on building a strong higher education system in the Dominican Republic, and giving more opportunities to Dominicans of no income to do master's degree and doctorate abroad, because I negotiate many agreements in Europe and US that give them that opportunity. And more than 20,000 Dominicans have those opportunity to make their higher studies abroad because of those agreements that I negotiate. And why I was again doing this for working on education, because I care about people, about people transformation, and because myself, I am a testimony of what education can do when you focus on merit and education and discipline. I came for a no-rich family in my country, but I was focused on being the best in a good way.
Yes.
I always say in a good way, because I'm very competitive with myself, because I put excellence as a target always. I cannot do anything that is not excellent, because I need to be that, because I think that is what God is expecting for me.
Yes.
So in everything that I did in my life, people is on the center, on education, on human rights, here on being an ambassador. And you say that I did 22 years of career in different places, Madrid, Paris, United Nations in Geneva, Washington, D.C., and then Jamaica. And again, here in Jamaica, I'm representing my government. I am working for the best interests of the Dominican Republic always. But what is most important for me is working for the people, because every investment of Jamaica in the Dominican Republic, every business synergy that we can promote and create, every action that we do impact to the people. So when we bring an investment or we increase our exports, families are impacted, and family will be having food in their table because they have a job.
Yes.
And that's what matters for me.
Okay. Tell me, given that, in your opinion, what makes a good diplomat? What do you look for, and are there any diplomats that you admire?
Well, I admire very much, as a matter of fact, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Jamaica, Kamina Johnson-Smith. I think I admire her. I'm a fan of Kamina, even before I even think or imagine I could be ambassador of the Dominican Republic to Jamaica. And I admire her because her strong character, because she prepared herself for her post and exercises in a very graceful way, but very professional. So she's a model for all women, not only in Jamaica, but all over the world. And she's a model for many diplomats as me. What makes an ambassador and a good ambassador? Well, definitely work hard.
Yes.
Because nothing happens just because happens. You have to provoke those changes. So you have to work hard. You have to be clear on which are the best interests of your countries, because you have to be aligned on the interests of your government and your country. You have to have discipline. You have to be motivated. You have to seduce and to have skills for negotiating things, because a diplomat needs to negotiate many things. So I think that that's a very important aspect of a diplomat, being able to negotiate and to seduce, to be an agent of opportunities, to be ready to, in any space that you see that there is an opportunity for your country, to seek and to work on that. But I can name many others. But what comes to my mind is also to build bridge. So I think that the diplomacy is all about building bridge or building bridges between your country and the country that you are assigned, because you need to deep the political ties, the commercial ties, the cultural, any other ties. And that only happens if you build bridge and people can trust in you.
Yes.
So if you happen to do that, I think that you can be a great diplomat.
But one of the things, you seem to be the antithesis of a lot of diplomats. Some are very stern-like. They don't give a lot away. They have an agenda and they're just focused on that agenda. You're not like that. You know, you're more open, more personable, more charming. You look to get things accomplished. As you said, you're almost in the sense that you want mutual benefit, both sides to benefit from whatever you're negotiating or whatever you're working on. That seems to be an element of what you do. But a lot of diplomats don't go about it that way.
You are right. I think that the key, actually, factor of the success of this tenure, of these 4 years, has been to work on a relationship, on a win-win relationship of mutual benefit. Mm-hmm. And that was something that I was very clear about since the first time I came to Jamaica. Even before, I said, if this is going to work, if we want to change completely the way that Jamaica see the Dominican Republic and Dominican Republic see Jamaica, we have to create trust. So public-private sector trust in what we are doing. And what creates trust? You have to be honest, of course, and I think that every single thing that I did here in Jamaica, I was genuine, authentic.
Yes.
So people can see that.
There's no doubt about that.
So people can see that I'm not pretending being this person or any other person. I'm very atypical as a diplomat. I recognize that. But I think that is part of my success too, that people can trust me because I am what I am, mm-hmm. and I'm not double-faced.
Yes.
And in diplomacy, traditionally, diplomacy was related with hypocrisy.
Yes.
So it's the art
and you couldn't see behind the face.
Yes, and it's the art to say yes, but it's a no.
Yes.
And you say no, but it's yes, I'm going to do it, but you are not going to see that I am coming through. Mm-hmm. So I don't believe in that. I believe that if you want to do a real impact, if you want your counterpart believe in you, you have to create. They have to trust you. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm a trustful person and trustful diplomat. And if I say something to someone here, they can write 100%. That is right. And if I commit myself to do something, I will do it even if there is an earthquake that is happening.
Yes.
You have to do things that is mutual benefit. And that is something that is very basic in any relationship. Mm-hmm. it has to be a win-win relation. And we have a complex, relationship, Jamaica and the Dominican Republic before.
Yes.
For many reasons. And we were very distant in many ways.
Yes.
Not only because of the lack of connectivity. We were very distant. So my job and the vision of the president of the Dominican Republic and my foreign minister was to dynamize the relationship, relaunch the relationship between the Dominican Republic and the rest of Caribbean. And I was in charge of Jamaica, which is a very important partner and very important stakeholder in CARICOM, and Bahamas. So if I wanted to change the way Jamaica sees also the Dominican Republic, it has to come through trusting and developing a win-win relation. And it's what we did, and you are right, it's the reason that explains the success of these 4 years.
Yes. One of your crowning achievements, and it seemed like almost divine intervention, because it happened literally as you were ending your tenure, was the waiver of the visa for citizens from Dominican Republic. So you did so well from year 1 to year 4. But then in year 4, the big thing, you managed to get it accomplished. And that was significant, absolutely significant.
Yes.
Because what it now means is that bringing in Arajet in 2022, citizens from Dominican Republic can come into Jamaica. And that, I think, helps the relationship between Jamaica and the Dominican Republic. And also, as Minister Ed Bartlett said, it's going to help with multi-destination travel in the Caribbean.
Yes.
Can you talk about that? That was you and I talked about it personally, and overcoming that difficulty and getting over the line with that. And you got over the line. You got it done.
Yes. Well, I think that I say some lines about that, and I say that the day that we have the press release at the Ministry of Tourism.
Yes, I remember.
I don't remember the exact words that I use, but it's the proof of persistence.
Yes, proof of persistence, yes.
Proof of persistence. And I think that this is much about me.
Yes.
I'm very persistent. I never give up unless it's impossible, but I love impossibles.
Yes.
Those are my favorites. I love difficult things, and to prove that if you put the correct dose of work and energy and a strategy and everything, you can get it.
Yes.
For me, there is nothing impossible. It's just the way how you face it. But of course, this one was of the impossible things, which we have it on our strategic plan here at the embassy, and we were working from the day one. But I always said to everyone, if we didn't achieve, if we don't achieve, we don't feel bad, because they are those things that we cannot control it. You put all your effort, but you cannot control it. And this one was particularly that one. So there were so many reasons and so many aspects that I'm not going to get into the details. There were many reasons why Jamaica didn't give to the Dominican Republic citizens the free visa. But we have free visa for Jamaica since 2007. 2007.
Yes.
So it was a lack of reciprocity. But I knew that there were so many factors taken in consideration. And also Jamaica, the reasons that I have is that they were reviewing a policy for a group of countries. But of course, the relationship between Jamaica and the Dominican Republic probably is not the same of those countries. The game has changed. And I think that we have before and after in our relationship. These 60 years of diplomatic relations see our relationship more dynamized, and many milestones who make a game changer, as you mentioned, the direct flight, the level of investments that we have between the two countries, the exports, the appetite by the private sector to do business, the relationship people to people is a different bilateral relations. So we need to have that removed because it wasn't consistent with the level of relationship that we had. And as I say, it's a proof of persistence because we have to go to all levels, from the most important level to the lower level. And I am very grateful of every person and every minister who supported the abolition of the visa. And I have to say that I'm very grateful of Prime Minister Andrew Holness, because I know that he invests himself, his leadership, in order to get it approved by the cabinet. And that was something that was informed by their ministers. And I'm very grateful because it's very brave of him to do it at this time when he has even, in a political scenario.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful also of Minister Bartlett from the beginning to support that. Of course, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Minister Floyd Green, and I will say Minister Daryl Bass, who was key in making this possible, and many others. Minister Owen Hill, how I can forget, because we need not only visa removed only for tourism, we need visa removed for businessmen. And we managed to get not 30 days of visa free. We managed to get 6 months of visa free, which is amazing.
It is.
And it's thanks to those, ministers who support my tenure and who knew with the Prime Minister that was the correct things to do. The Prime Minister always say, Ambassador, it's the correct things to do, because also we have a lot of Jamaicans who are traveling to the Dominican Republic. You know that the flux of passengers since November 22 to November 2024 increased more than almost 4,000%.
Yes.
So it's dramatically.
Yes.
And Prime Minister say we need Dominicans coming to Jamaica and spending money. So it was the correct thing to do, for what you say, for the correct, for taking advantage or having Arajet with that direct flight.
Yes.
Yes.
And Arajet has become very successful. They came earlier this year, and we talked about Arajet opening up new gates in the US, in the Caribbean, and it seems to be doing very well. I mean, the airlift into Dominican Republic is, as you said, is vastly increased.
Yes.
It's a success story.